All the time. I know they trying to knock me down, I ain't going out. As the card turns, it's drip like a pool. I know they trying to knock me down, I ain't going out. As the card turns, you gotta figure it out. They see you getting it poppin', they gon' try and come around. I be down to go out last and keep a live round. In the blick, get you hit. Bitch, we gon' get you first. Don't get caught up in the mix. Better watch out for that blitz. Can't deny that I'm lit. You can't deny that I'm lit.
Can't deny that I'm lit. Gotta ride with your blick. Fuck watching for the option. Be the cops to get you hit. I just right up off the porch. Mama said stay up out the mix. Niggas up when I was broke. They left me down on my dick. They let me down. Now I won't be around now. I fuck this bitch, take her to Pound Town. When I was broke, they used to laugh at me. My dad thought it was a tragedy. His man thought it was sad to see. You smoking knobs like a bag of weed. And I bled, get you in. Bitch, we gon' get you first. As the car turns,
drip like a pool. I know they trying to knock me down, I ain't going out. As the car turns, you gotta figure it out. They see you getting it poppin', they gon' try and come around. I be down to go out last and keep a live round. In the blink, get you hit. Bitch, we gon' get you first. Caught up in the mix. Better watch out for that blitz. Can't deny that I'm lit. You can't deny that I'm lit.
All right, y'all. What's up? Welcome to As the Culture Turns. That was the world premiere, I guess. That's the first time that I'm playing our new theme song. So that right there was As the Culture Turns. That was performed by Savvy Bussadot and Mac FDF. All righty. Now we're gonna get into our show today. All righty. We got the whole gang is here today. So I'm going to introduce the gang. All righty. So to my left, I got Dawn.
Yes, indeed.
To my right, I got Naya. Down to my lower left, I got Kendall. And then over to the lower right, I got Cortisha. What's up? What's up, y'all? How y'all?
Hey, everybody.
Just chilling. All righty. All right, so again, the whole gang is here, and we got a hot topic to get into right now, and we're gonna start. So let me bring up the person picture on the screen so we know exactly who we talking about. All righty, we talking about this guy right here. He goes by
Peters.
He goes by Jeffrey Dahmer. All righty, so let me read what I got. We're gonna get right into it, okay?
So disclaimer: Netflix, this is just the actor for Jeffrey Dahmer, correct?
Yes,
I believe that's the actor. Yeah, that's the actor. I ain't really want to use the real guy, you know. But all right, so I got this. So Netflix's new addition to its true crime canon is a thriller from Ryan Murphy, who explores the case of one of America's most notorious serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer. The name of the movie or the limited series is called Monster: The Jeffrey Dahmer Story, which stars actor Evan Peters as the man also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster, who committed the murder and dismemberment of 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. Now, my first question I want to ask you all, and I'll start. I'm actually start with you, Dawn, and then I go down the line. Did any of you watch the movie? Yes or no? Why or why not?
No, I didn't watch the movie because I canceled my Netflix subscription because they overcharging like a mug. But I did watch it for free on Peacock. You know, if you got Xfinity, you can watch it on Peacock. But it's a documentary describing, you know, who he is and what he's done. And I don't know if you want me to get into detail about how I feel about it, but yeah, that's how I see it.
No, I got you. We're gonna get into detail. We're gonna get into it. Later. All right. Yeah, I got you. So how about with you, Naya? Same question.
So I didn't watch it as well. So no, I do have it on Netflix, and I also got Peacock too. But no, I did not watch it.
All righty.
Nope.
How about you, Kendall?
So I intend to watch it just to give myself a more thorough viewpoint on it. I haven't watched it yet though because I'm really grappling with the idea of how the ethics stand with like creating a series based on something so real without getting like the family of the victim's permission to do so. So that's a lot to grapple with. I do want to watch it. I wish it was a documentary, but it's not even a documentary. It's like a beat by beat, like romanticism of what happened. So it's not like you're watching something educational. It's like a full blown like drama series. So that makes it a little bit iffy for me as far as like wanting to engage in it in any way beyond like trying to figure out why it was made or why it was necessary.
Okay, alrighty. And last but not least, Cortisha, did you watch it?
No, I wanted to, but it seemed like every time I would want to watch, I have time to watch it, it'd be at night, and I can't. How people were saying it's so like scary and they can't watch it. So it's like every time I have time, it was at night. But I did want to watch it because, I mean, my brother was kind of talking about it, and I wanted to just get into it. I like stuff based on true stories, so but I didn't watch it yet.
Alrighty, and then I'll answer the same question. So I did attempt to watch it, and I didn't make it past the first, I would say maybe 30 minutes. I wasn't really keeping count. I found myself fast forwarding a lot through it, and then when certain things would come up, I would be like, oh, like my anxiety was going through the roof trying to watch it. So I tried, but I couldn't because to me, I just kept getting triggered. I don't know what it was. I felt like this was a movie that's meant to traumatize Black people. Um, that's what I think, So I did not watch it as well. So we're gonna get into it because there is someone who did watch it and they was not proud of it. And let me show the picture right here. So we got the sister of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims. She reacted to the story and she said that when she saw some of the show, it bothered her, especially when she saw herself. When I saw my name come across the screen and this lady saying verbatim exactly what I said, that actually bothered her. And she also went on to say that Netflix did not even reach out to the family members. So it's one thing if Netflix reach out to the family members and they have something, some involvement with it and they want to put it out for educational purposes. But the fact that you put it out without their permission, it just doesn't sit right with me. So what do y'all think about Netflix profiting off of people's pain? I'm gonna start with you, Kendall.
So honestly, like I think there would be no controversy if they had reached out to the family and said, "Hey, we want to give you guys like some of the royalties from this." There would be no problem, and that's the only reason I haven't really watched it yet because I do think it's fascinating to have these stories written, but going behind the backs of like the people who are most affected by it, like that's kind of uncool to me. So if they fix that and they do reach out to the family and try to cut them in on some of the profits, because they're making bank off this. It's been #1 for the past like 4 days. So they're making money off it. The family is watching this and seeing everything that they've like wanted to forget the past like 30, 40 years. So it's just too much. It's too much.
Mm-hmm. All right. You next, Cortisha.
I think that they definitely should have reached out to the family because the families have to relive that. That's something that they went through and you probably healed from or just kind of, put past them. So now that everybody has to see that, they have to see that again, have to relive it. They should have definitely reached out. So I think that's a big deal. Like, that's a problem. And a lot of people, this is just entertainment to people. So, like, to them, that's not. So I think they should have definitely reached out.
All righty. And over to you, Dawn.
This is a business and people are in it to make money. The story happened. It's not up for sale. The story is free. So if somebody want to make a story out of a tragic situation and not inform the family about it, they got every right to. I'm sorry to say it's sad that they have to relive it, but that's just nasty Hollywood. That's just how it is. So you can't fix it. So you can only kind of get over it almost. I mean, or don't look at it. And the people who love you and know what you went through know not to watch it. But it is what it is. It's all about money at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. And then over to you, Naya.
So piggybacking on for everybody. So I do feel like that they should have got permission from every family member. You know what I'm saying? Not every family member, but whatever.
Just to use their likeness.
They should have got permission. I think they should have got permission. And even if they did not get, because they didn't get permission, they could at least use names that's almost like them, not the exact names. You get what I'm saying? Although the storyline is still going to be the same because it's basically documentary. it's not a documentary, but you know what I'm saying. It's just a copy of basically what actually happened. So I feel like they should have used different names. And like she said, it's about money. So, they don't care. I'm not saying it's okay. I disagree with what they actually did. But, when it comes to money, they do what they want to do, especially in Hollywood. It's like, okay. And, you know what I mean? So it's sad that they have to go through that and experience that, the families. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then to get my 2 cents on it, but I do agree with all of you. I that have to be with Dawn on this one. It is a business, and quite frankly, because I just watched an interview today with Kenya Barris, and he was talking about like the Wizard of Oz. We kind of talked about that last week. Whereas anybody can remake a movie like the Wizard of Oz because it's like free domain. So kind of alluding to what Dawn was saying, it's in a way free domain. We see a lot of people get biopics made about them all the time without family approval. We all remember that tragic Aaliyah movie. Like, god damn, that
I
movie
never.
was so goddamn tragic. Yeah. So my whole thing
Never.
is, I don't agree with it, but we can choose to not watch it. We can choose to not support it, And at the end of the day, it is a business, and because it is number one, like some people do like this type of content. So while some people may not agree with it, it's almost like censoring, art nowadays because of how some people feel.
I
But
can't
I
even
want
agree
to.
with that though.
Would you say it again?
I can't even agree with that because like even copyright laws extend to protect fictional characters more than like the likeness of these real people. Like there are copyright laws protect, like if I wrote a character and then you went and used my character, I could sue you for that as long as I have patented the character. But this woman who is literally watching her words come out of somebody else's mouth, her likeness come onto like somebody else's body, like she's literally seeing herself in somebody else. That's like the difference for me. And if the copyright laws don't protect something like that, I think it's more of a question of whether or not they should than like, should we just get over it, right? Like, does that make sense?
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you, and I don't, and then I don't know 100% if the copyright protected because we see I'm not gonna say real people. We see celebrities all the time get movies made about them without permission. Like people could just do it. So I don't really know like the ins and outs of that, but I do know that if they agree to make the movie, and then again, I'm not agreeing with it, but I'm looking at like the logical fact of it is that they can do it. You could bitch them all you want, not you, but anybody can bitch them all they want, but they still have the right to do it,
Yeah,
And
I think
that's the part where I look at it.
after a tragic, situation like that, if you experience something like that, I think, afterwards you have to set up where as though if somebody tried to use your likeness to create a movie about it or whatever the case is, then they have to pay you and, set family members residuals for it, or you know what I mean? Like you have
Yeah.
to have paperwork involved after you experience something like that, because when you have a popular story like OJ or something like that, like you gotta put paperwork in motion, whereas though if they use this story they gotta pay you, period.
Nah, definitely. So I want to get to the next part of this conversation because I want to get to the art part of it because there are people online. I got the picture on the screen. They are saying that I think we can now all agree that Evan Peters is one of the most talented actors of this generation. And then we also got another one where people is saying that everyone is gushing over Evan Peters' performance. However, the true star of Dahmer is Niecy Nash. Now I'm gonna go over to you first, Dawn, because I know you said last week that and I know personally that you always wanted to be an actress. So when it comes to these actors and actresses taking on these roles, this is their bread and butter. Should actors or actresses be judged based upon certain roles that they play? Like,
Absolutely not.
I elaborate.
Yeah,
Let
no, I'm
her go.
sorry. But
Thank
no,
you.
absolutely not. Why should you judge me because I'm playing a role? That doesn't make sense. I'm acting. I want you to believe that I am this person. But I mean, like the kid from Power, they always call him Tyreek. You know what I mean? Like that's not him. Like he's a whole different person from the character he portrays. Like, I don't get how people. I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's a character. It's an actor. It's not them.
All right. So let me go down to Kendall. So what you guys say
So
about
I
that?
agree with that to an extent, right? But I think it was, I'm pretty sure, like 98% sure it was Chadwick Boseman who like never accepted any roles that made him look like a stereotypical like black person. He always played a role that was like honorable and like dignified, something that represented our people well. So I'm not gonna say like I fully disagree, but I do think that we can hold actors to like, okay, well, that's kind of a character outside of your wheelhouse or something you haven't usually done that doesn't really mesh with like society standards. No, not to like judge them, but like if you're running around only playing typecast like serial killer stuff, that's like Evan Peters, he runs a lot of like really crazy like darker roles. And when you listen to him like talk, he is like a bit of he's a more eccentric like type person. So it's not like he should be judged for taking the role, but I'm still leaning more on like, why was this necessarily the role that was even created? Like, are we gonna keep up the trend of like making stuff off serial killers and like flying in the face of the families, and will actors keep accepting those roles? That's where I kind of land on it, because is it right to represent these things as dramatizations when again families aren't involved in their creation? So it's a lot more than just the role for me. It's the behind the scenes, what led into the role being opened up to them to begin with.
So can I I'm gonna throw this at you, then I'm gonna go over to Naya and Cortisha. So let me just take let me add more people to it. So the producer, the the company who's making the movie, who's the studio and all of them, so do you think that, and it may be the same, do you think that the studio would be more responsible than the actor? Because I look at it as an actor just taking a job and they doing a job, whereas the studio, they're investing the money. They are, casting the actors for these roles and everything. So what are your thoughts when it comes to the studio heads and the producers?
So, I mean, those are the people who stand to profit most off of it. So I do think that they're probably the ones that should get like the most flack out of, again, like this was created to begin with. Actors came in to fill in the role that they were probably going to get paid to do. That's pretty normal to expect. People do stuff they don't necessarily want to do or agree with for jobs all the time. But I definitely think that it should land more on like Netflix, not reaching out to the family. It should lean on the producers and everybody who put it together without going to at least some of the family members for like consultation. But I don't think it falls just on the actor at all. It's definitely way more than just the actors picking their roles.
All righty, over to you, Naya.
I agree with both of them. But more I lean towards Kendall. I do believe that we shouldn't judge people off of a role, but sometimes, like some roles, I feel like could be very uncomfortable to play. Like, I don't want to play a molester in a role. I don't want to have to be the serial killer. I'd rather be the one getting killed in the movie. Some roles I just don't want to play. Like even the Emmett Till movie that's about to come out, like the woman who had to play her or whoever had to play him, I know that could be very emotional. And as far as the family, I do agree. Know that we can't really so much blame the actress and the actors, but it's the fact that Netflix and also Netflix and the producers should have reached out to the family, like, hey, we're going to do this. I'm not asking for you guys to be in it, but I just want to let you guys know. Even if they wasn't going to give them a cut, they still should have went to let them know, like, hey, we're going to do a movie, and it's based on X, Y, and Z, your family member. So I just wanted you to know, just in case you ever see the movie pop up, so you can know that we're doing this, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I just feel like they should have said something. They didn't have to cut them a check if that's what it was about. Like, we ain't trying to give them no money because they're going to want a lot of money off of this.
There ain't no reason to call.
Hell no. Exactly. Cut the check.
Ain't no reason
if you ain't cutting the check, don't call me.
Paying me, don't call me. Yeah, exactly.
I know. I feel like they should say something or give some type of permission.
No.
At least, I guess, at least to know it was happening would have relieved a lot of the okay.
What if I just cut this on? Oh, what's this about? And I cut it on. I'm the mom of one of my kids who got killed, and now it triggers me. Now I'm back drinking alcohol or
that's not their problem.
Or
their problem is how many people view this movie. How much money they're gonna get paid for it.
I'm worried about the people who was actually affected by it. We just saying, ooh, we're scared of this movie.
They don't care. They don't care.
No,
they could die and they wouldn't care.
Yeah, we know they don't care, but I'm saying that this is the fact that this is how the mindset should change, because the fact that if my kid was one of those kids who got killed, if I turn something on because I want to binge watch, however you pronounce it, and I'm sitting home and this pop up, like, hold the hell up, this sound like something is this about my son? And then like that's tragic to a person. I do feel like at least should have been known. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they should have got paperwork
or they came up to him in public, like they could be out at the store or on the phone, like, yeah, girl, I heard the story about you, and she's like, what? Exactly. Like that could be caught by surprise, and that could be very traumatizing. Like I mean, like you said, it is a business, but like at least a warning. A warning, I think, is definitely needed.
So I hear where Dawn's coming from, because what I don't think she's disagreeing with the warning part. My thing is, if you're gonna call me with a check. Don't call me just to say you're doing it. If there's no check connected to it, then what's the point of the call? I mean, that's what I think she's saying, because that's where I'm at with it.
And I'm sorry, people in this Hollywood, they gonna always try to get over anyway. I'm not trying to be smart. Not every white person. I'm not saying every person in Hollywood.
I got a quick question when you're done, Maya.
You know, it's just a game of how they do some things, and it's not appreciated. I don't like it. And I look at stuff, if I don't think about the bigger picture. I think about if I was that person. If I was that woman, I don't think about the bigger picture. That's just how the world is. No, I don't conform to these things.
If I was that woman, I would have got paperwork to make sure that they pay me for my likeness in any creation that they do for the situation, period.
Or at least have a say so. At least have a say so of what's being put in the story about me and my brother or whoever it was. Let me make sure it's being put out right.
Because if you do it wrong, then you paying me.
Exactly. Kendall, 1 second. Kendall said he had a question.
I was gonna say, have you guys all seen When They See Us, the series about the Central Park Five?
I did.
Do you know if they consulted them about that? I don't know. Like
they did, because that was Ava DuVernay. Hold on, I know Ava DuVernay produced that movie, and they actually did. They were actually all involved in that movie, because they all did press and everything for that movie.
There were people who were like upset about like When They See Us, but it wasn't like this, right? It was like, okay, this is hard to watch. Black people don't watch this. White people watch this because you need to know. But like Black people, this is going to be a traumatizing like series for you to watch. But having them like consult the people, like it created a much different like type of backlash, I think, than this is getting. And I think this backlash makes sense.
That movie, When They See Us, made them successful. You know, afterwards, granted, they got a big settlement, you know, for being exonerated and everything like that. But I met Dr. Yusuf, one of the characters from When They See Us, and you know, he was very pleased with his life. He was happy, you know, he was involved in the whole.
Yeah, they're all graceful as hell.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they was involved. They wanted to be a story out there. That type of story is totally different. It's about justice and how we're always wrongfully convicted of something, and it was a message out there. It stood for something for the community.
Exactly.
Here tearing down Black people, like, dang, you're not even cutting me a check. You're not doing nothing. You didn't reach out to us. It's like that didn't go the same way. So I agree with Kendall said. Like, it's just it's two different things.
Not definitely. For sure. All right, so now let me get to this next part, because we spent a little bit too much time on that one.
No, this is fine. This is fine.
No, the reason why I'm saying I'm going off of time wise, you know, and everything. But this next part I want to get to, because we know that the person who's playing Jeffrey Dahmer, he's actually playing the role, and this movie was advertised as not that one first. This movie was actually advertised as an LGBTQ horror movie. You know, and Netflix actually caught wind of that, and they actually removed the LGBTQ tag on there on the movie. However, I want to have this question right here, because we see a lot of people praising this guy for playing this. Well, let me read what it say. It say, I peep how y'all are saying the guy that's playing Jeffrey Dahmer is a great actor and played the hell out of his role as a gay serial killer, but made the statement that the guy playing Lil Murder in P Valley got to be gay for real because he played his role too good. I'm going to mind my business though. Why do y'all think that when white people play roles that may involve a LGBTQ character, they can get the pass that they're just acting, but when somebody Black do it, it's like, oh, he must really be gay. I want to pass that. Go Dawn.
White privilege. Next.
Over to you,
and I think like the Black community with like gay men, is there like they expect men to be like, you know, tough and this type of image they got for Black men. So when you see it like from our community, when they see a Black man, it's like they're just real judgmental. So I think that's kind of why versus white people, they don't kind of be hard on a white man for being gay. That's how I kind of see it.
Over to you, Naya. I agree with you, Cortisha.
Like basically, off of what she said, like we're depicted to look and black men to be strong, powerful, and also they're looked at to be different. They're not looked at to. I'm not saying that gay people are weak, but I feel like with gay men, they tend to look at them to be softer. So when they see a black man playing a role of a softer role, they're talked about versus a white guy, because a lot of white guys they make a lot of on a regular, they make a lot of gay jokes, and I hang with a lot of white people, so it's like they can say certain things that we can't say. They do a lot of things that you won't see a black and another black man do, but that's their humor. That's how they play. That's how they talk. That's how they connect with one another. So I think that some things is accepted when it comes to. I'm not saying that it should be, but I'm just saying I think that for society, some things are accepted with white men versus black men.
Naya, you don't even like when men wear hoochie daddy shorts. So what we talking about? I call you out.
No, it depends on who hoochie daddy shorts. I said they are. I didn't say that they can't be. You gotta wear them right.
She not with the thigh meat, bro. No, I agree with Cortisha all the way. So there's like a general consensus that like white queer folk will often be racist, and then black people often have like a lot of homophobia in our community. So it's like when the two things clash together, it creates a really weird dynamic where it's like, well, if you're black and gay, then you're like double disadvantaged, but you're going to be hated by both groups because white queer people are still going to be racist against you. And then generally speaking, like in a lot of black media, it's like okay to be homophobic and to hate gay people or feminine men. So it's like to see those two things like side by side, it is weird, but we also got to recognize that a lot of it isn't like white queers that are calling Lil Murda like a gay guy in real life. It's mostly coming from like black people watching the shows. And it's like, guys, we got to do better. Like we literally just got to do better. I've been dealing with that type of stuff since I was a kid. Like I was trying to understand, like, how can you be black and experience like, okay, well, we know what slavery was like. Like we have that understanding, and then you're going to be like homophobic and then bully a gay person for like who they love. Like we can't do that. But in the community, it's still something that's normalized in the music. It's still normalized in television shows and movies. And it's something we're breaking away from, but that it's been there historically for us to fear like buck breaking all the time. Now it's like, that's not what's happening anymore. Gay people just exist, and we're still like catching up with that. But again, a lot of LGBTQ movements are led by black trans women. So it's not like we're not also at the forefront of these things too.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you because, and number one, I think we gotta keep it a buck and have a real honest conversation. This is coming from our culture. A lot of it is in the church, Naya. I'm not saying that to you, Naya, not to you, Naya. I'm sorry. Let me verify that. It's not you, Naya. I'm sorry, because I know that you're real big in the church. So I'm sorry, that wasn't a shot towards you. But the reason I'm saying in the church, because I felt like you should have said that a lot of it was in the church as well, because in the church we have a lot of preachers, even if it's in the Catholic Church, priests who preach one thing, but then we also know what happens behind closed doors. You know, mm-hmm. Like they will condemn people for being gay, but then they're actually, you know, allegedly messing with little boys, you know. So sorry, that was
you don't even have to go that far, because even if they're not doing it, there's cover-ups happening all over like the Catholic Church.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's a different story. That's a whole
it's definitely cover-up. But then hold on, let me finish real night. And then also we just got to remember that this is taught behavior, you know. So honestly, until we like normalize this more, and this type of stuff got to keep happening. Like the more that we normalize this, the more normal I think it will come. But we have to be honest and understand that we have people in our family who are like this. We have people who we are friends with that's probably like this. And then if you don't say nothing, if you're not condemning it, then to me, you're complicit with it, you know? So I feel like a lot of us have people like that that's around us, but a lot of us don't say anything. A lot of us know where it come from, and we got to correct those things. So we know that stuff like this come from the church, but we still worship the church. To me, that's a problem, because they're talking about only God can judge me, or we accept everybody. And then when you try to go there, then they place judgment. They place judgment upon you. So for me, I just feel like we got to be real honest. Go, Naya.
Nobody go. Right. So let me just back some stuff up before I back up the whole church thing. So it's not just in the black community. I have African friends and their families do not play that. Jamaicans, they do not play that. Okay. Yes, it is in black communities, but those alone really don't play. And there's some white people I know, their parents are like, no, they're not for that as well. That's why a lot of people, the suicide rate is so high because it's just not in a black community. It's everywhere. I know people
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Definitely
So it's not
definitely not just in the black community.
I would say disproportionately, if anything.
Yeah,
but not like.
I mean, even the topic of the story, Jeffrey Dahmer, he had to hide his sexuality because he didn't know how to express it or even tell his parents that he's gay. You know what I mean? So it's not accepted in any race, you know, as much as it should be because people are born this way. But at the same time, it's just like, you know, the only thing we can do is accept it, and whoever around us don't. We can't convince people to accept things. We can only kind of dismiss them out.
I think we have a responsibility to convince people to accept things. I think that's a responsibility.
But I also believe that we gotta meet people where they at. So if some people not right there, let's try to meet them where they're at. Don't try to shove it in their face and make them accept it.
But you got to figure what people consider shoving in their face. People think putting.
Go ahead,
guys.
Keep going. No,
I think that what the problem was with P Valley was they show what we are not usually seeing. Like I think that some people accept the gays, but to see it, see what's going on, I think it made a lot of people uncomfortable. Like I think just seeing it and seeing more of what goes on kind of made
because I've never seen that before a day in my life.
That was
different. It was different.
This is crazy to me.
It was different.
But this is the thing though, because it was uncomfortable because it was two men. Because we see two girls kiss all the time, and there's no issue. So we're going to keep it real.
It's fetishized.
No, yeah, but I said it's two black men. So to see that and then see every detail, it wasn't just a quick boom boom. It was details where that was something new to be on TV. You get what I mean? It was something new for a lot of people.
Especially P Valley. Damn.
Yeah, that was definitely the whole season for sure.
This is just my opinion. I don't believe I can't agree with Kendall on this part where it said that we don't have to make anybody, just like the Little Mermaid thing we talked about last week. You don't.
I can clarify on this. Go ahead.
You don't have to watch it and you don't have to be involved with it, but you don't have to show hate towards it though. I don't believe that we should go hating a gay person or hating this type of person because they're different from us. I believe that we should still have love in our heart for everybody, but that does not mean I have to agree with your decisions. Just like we make decisions as children and our parents as our overseers, and they want us to go to school to be a doctor, right? But at least we're in school, so we're still here to support you. But I wanted you to be they want us to go to be a doctor, but I want to go to school to be a realtor. I mean, a banker, accountant, like that. You get what I'm saying? I still love you, but that's not what I really want for you. I don't really support it, but I'm still.
So that's where.
Wait, am I finished? And then
go ahead.
All right, hold on. I make it quick, y'all, because we got more to get to. So now I finish up and then go Kendall.
Here's some stuff. This is a good.
No, I get it, but I got more to get to. We got lyrics.
I was only cutting because I felt like you were initially misunderstanding what I was trying to say. So I'm not saying we need to go and say you need to be okay with gay people right now. No, what I'm saying is that when people go into these circles and it's okay, well, there's now gay men kissing on television. If you are bratty or crying or whining about this and it's oh, I don't want to see that, my kids shouldn't be allowed to see that, you should also not be okay with two adult men and women kissing each other. You should not be okay with that either, because then you can say, okay, I don't like seeing sex in television because I don't think kids should see that. But if I don't think kids should see gay sex in television and it's only gay sex I'm worried about, that's the problem, because now it's okay, now you just want to erase their representation. Now you have white people saying, I don't want to see a black mermaid. I don't want that. And it's well, that's what's going to fit the culture. That's going to fit today's society. We now live in a more culturally diverse society that has a lot of different people in it. And if you're really building gates to keep people out, that's what these people are doing. It's not just, I don't want to see gay people on TV. It's that they're offended by seeing gay people on TV. They're disgusted by it. And that's the problem, is that you wouldn't be disgusted if it was two adults that are straight. You're not disgusted if it's two adults that are straight. It's just not happening. But when it's a gay person or two gay people, that's where people bring out the pitchforks and the torches. And that's my problem.
It's becoming normalized.
Yeah, we're getting there, but we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot.
Definitely there though.
It's in cartoons now.
Yeah, it's there.
Well, that's the thing is that do we think it's a problem for gay people to be in television doing the same things that straight people are doing, or do we have a problem with sexuality in television to begin with? Because that's where people don't people have no problem with Superman kissing Lois Lane. People don't have a problem with that. People have a problem with Superman's son, Superboy Prime, kissing his partner, who was a man. People had a problem with that. But it's like, you don't mind if Superman and Lois are literally having sex in this panel, floating in the sky. Your kid read that and you were fine. But Superman or Superboy kisses his boyfriend, and that's a problem. It's the double standard for me. That's the problem.
Can I say this? Because me and you had this debate before, Kendall, and I said
stop it.
It was a disagreement, and it was more so of I felt like that if it's a adult cartoon, like it should be in like Family Guy, because Family Guy, they like with the old man who be, I guess, touching Chris or whatever, like it should be implied in adult cartoons where adults will get it.
Funny.
To me, I do feel like Superman started off as a child cartoon. It's PG-13, and I'm not saying because this is across the board. Then maybe we need to take all of it out.
So Superman was a love letter to Jewish people when he was first written. Superman was written by 2 Jewish people who fled to the United States like right before World War II. He wasn't necessarily a child's character.
But it was targeted towards children. So regardless of that, his demographic was
eventually.
But that was still his demographic. So regardless, it was still targeted.
Not for the first 30 years of his creation.
But it was still targeted by kids.
No, you ain't gonna fight
I get what you're saying. I'm going by
as time went on, they idolized sex in every show and all the cartoons. Like back then, we didn't see this much sex on
Have you seen Johnny Bravo?
No.
The shows. I have seen Johnny Bravo.
It was definitely implied. So I don't want to say we ain't see it. I just think we wasn't young enough to understand it. When I go back,
it wasn't as deep. Now you see
it absolutely was.
It
absolutely was. They had like
you see the genitals and stuff like they showing it all. Like
well, I don't know about that. I'm saying don't go back to Rugrats and
go back.
Even with the mom and dad, like the if you look at the twins, mom and dad, the mom was super masculine and then the dad was super feminine. You know, like they didn't put it in our face, but like when you get older, you're like, oh, okay. You know, that's how you look at it. But
on this one.
But so I just feel like if it's going to be like, and I agree, let's take all of it out of the kids shows or out of superhero, and then let's put it in Family Guy, the Boondocks.
But then at the same time, you're no longer representing a very real part of life, which is romance. Right.
No, but kids
it's okay for Green Arrow and Black Canary to kiss. Like that's okay. It's not like they're full blown like having sex in these comics.
I just think for kids, when it comes to children, I just don't think that they don't need to know. I'm not gonna say they don't need to know about it. They don't need to be at the forefront of their mind. Forefront of their mind, like have an imagination. Because number one, all of us, I'm pretty sure we all can agree that us as kids, we all wanted to grow up so fast. And then when we got grown, we like, oh damn, I wish I was a kid again. Allow me to have my imagination for as long as I can have it, and then I can start dealing with real shit. That's just what I think personally. You know, because these kids don't got imaginations no more. Like they really don't. They don't at all.
But kids from this generation, these are some of the most creative, imaginative people that I've ever met. Is like,
and then because technology,
they're all like on the road to becoming like content creators, though. Like this is a very imaginative generation. I disagree with that completely.
But also this, hold on. But also this, kids also got to learn how to survive through school shootings now. So their imagination is not there. When I was going to school, when we had when we had fire drills or whatever, like we did it, but I never had to prepare for actual fire. These kids got to prepare. But these kids got to prepare. Can I finish real quick? These kids got to prepare to save people from overdosing. They got to prepare to defend themselves in school shootings. So my thing is, while some have imagination, I'm not saying none of them don't. What I'm saying is that imagination is ending quite earlier because of all these real life issues.
I think it's being fostered and cultivated in a way we've never seen before. I think imagination and like the inspiration for kids to be creative, I think it's better than it's almost ever been. You see more kids
technology.
Not even just technology. So like if you look at skateboarding, Tony Hawk, he'll walk around and he'll see kids doing tricks he couldn't do until he was like professional, because they see the old foundations and build on stuff that was already there. So if you're a kid today painting, you're following all the old masters and their stuff, but you're building something new off of it because you have the room and not only the room, you have every single library on the planet at your fingertips. If you want to learn something, I mean, yes, but technology is a tool. You can use it wrong, you can use it right. I think most kids are being cultivated to use it in a way that is like ADHD traps. But at the same time, there's a lot of good like coming out of creative circles because of tech.
But can I say
I agree with it. Go,
Man,
Naya.
we are far away from Jeffrey Dahmer.
We're way off.
Yeah, get Naya, and then we're gonna get back to it.
All right, I agree with what Dawn was basically saying. I say technology. The reason why I say technology, and I agree with Jameer, these things should not be shown to kids because the fact that there's more things that they should be focusing on and paying attention. And honestly, if you see a child on those iPads and on YouTube, you'll call her name. They barely pay attention anyway. They're so like, technology is just a new thing. We had flip phones. So what was we saying? Who was before Tony Hawk? You know what I mean? And now that they see Tony Hawk on YouTube, on social media, and on through technology, that's how they're able to advance by watching something. We couldn't watch nothing. We had Snake on our phone.
Well, they still need to practice.
We had Turks. We had stuff like that. We were not exposed to so much stuff back in the day because we couldn't even afford to be exposed to that type of stuff. Let's be honest.
We were more social because we call each other. I'm about to come here, meet me here.
Yeah,
we were more social versus just.
I can't even agree with that. Because the way we socialize now, instead of reaching 6 people in your neighborhood, you're now able to reach hundreds of people with your artwork, your
physically.
Well, yes.
Physically.
But now we're debating the like merit of physical interaction versus the merit of like internet interaction. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. Pretending that one is always better than the other is just kind of narrow-minded.
So, Kendall, the original argument was the fact that the imagination is dying at a younger age. I agree with what you said about, them having it at their fingertips, but it's dying at a younger age because they have everything at the access of their hand. This iPad, they could go watch porn they want to. I had to go sneak and do that shit. You feel me? I had to sneak and do it. And guess what? The imagination is gone because once you go looking for it, it's no more an imagination. It's now, now you're gonna go try that shit, because now you've seen it. It's accessible to you, But I'm not here to change your mind. We could agree to disagree for sure. Because I want to get back to Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, so I want to get back to the online critics of the Jeffrey Dahmer because I posted. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, and I want to get y'all thoughts on what people have been talking about. Now I'm gonna get the first one, and then y'all can give your opinions as they come up on the screen. All right. So first, they said that Philly people are going to start calling him Jeffrey Dahmer. These are people either making jokes and stuff about it. Next, they said they done put Jeffrey Dahmer on the dishes in Popeyes.
Oh my gosh.
I've already heard Jameer say Dahmer a couple of times, so that's really funny to see. He's already done it a couple of times.
It say Jeffrey ain't got shit on me. I ate 6 dicks this week. Pause.
What? Oh my gosh.
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
And this next one say, just pearl this wood. Finna watch my boy Dom eat niggas.
What?
All right. Hold on. And the last
pearl.
one.
What is that? Just pearl this wood. Oh, what is that?
For Tisha. That you wrote the Dutch. Aww. You wrote the Dutch. Oh my God.
Oh my God, that just tell my age. What the fuck?
And the last one I got is Jeffrey Dahmer. Dahmer would have broke Shamar down like a crab leg. And if anybody want to know who Shamar is, this is Shamar.
Oh my
God. Oh my God. Yeah.
So I want to ask this question because a lot of people have a sense of humor to it, and a lot of it is dark humor. And I know a lot of people may not agree with dark humor. Do people have the right to have all right, so Kid, I'm gonna start with you because I know you have a certain stance on this. What are your thoughts on a lot of those comments up there? First, let me start it like that.
I mean, people are gonna make jokes about stuff all the time. Like the taste of the joke is just gonna depend on who's around them. I think like there's an audience for any kind of joke, but like I don't know. I never want to say jokes are off limits. As long as you're not telling them in a space where people are going to be hurt by them or reinforcing like a narrative that's like trash. This is like joking about something that I think a lot of people are going to joke with to like cope with, but I don't think people are like thinking of the families and stuff when they're doing this. And I don't know if this is like the space where you need to. I'm going to go make a post on my Twitter. I'm not going to reach out to the family to ask about that first, right?
With you. I'll go over to you, Dawn.
That shit is disgusting. First of all, this man literally date raped men, not just black men, period. Raped them, chopped them up, cooked them and ate them, stored them for his own display. That's disgusting. I don't find nothing funny about it. He killed two 14-year-old boys. One almost got away, but the cops,
Police gave him back.
the police gave him back because they didn't believe that he was in danger.
Yep.
They thought that he was just having
this is my boyfriend.
Yeah, like what do you mean? It's disgusting. What this man did to these people is horrible. I don't find not one joke funny, to be honest, because of what I've heard and witnessed.
Like I said, it's just tasteless.
It's just disgusting. And people who find it funny, I block them because where your mind at? How is that funny to you? I don't get it. So yeah, I don't like that shit. It's disgusting, and I don't respect people who think it is funny, to be honest.
Got you. Go, Naya.
I was gonna ask her, so if you don't think the jokes is funny, then how come like y'all, not saying that you was okay with the movie being made, but this is why I was saying the movie shouldn't have been made in the first place.
I was gonna say this. Yes.
Like, it's affecting the families. It's both ways. It's kind of like the same way it's been made is the same way those jokes is affecting the family, just how you just felt. So I feel like the movie should never been made, period. It should have just been one of those things you just read a documentary and something short.
Wait. Can I jump on that? Because it's not even a movie, right? It's a 9-episode television series.
Right.
9 episodes, not 2.5 hours like a movie. That's 9 hours that you're watching. So it's a different than a movie even.
It's disgusting. I'm not agreeing with Hollywood making or Netflix making it a series. I don't agree with it. But at the same time, that's just how it is. If it's a tragic story and it's popular, they're gonna make a dime off of it. Rather if the family know about it or get paid it or not, they don't care. I understand that. That's what I was saying. But as far as the jokes go, I don't respect people who make jokes about something that happened so gruesome.
What about the ones where like the one where it said Philly people are going to be calling him Dahmer? Like that's something I'm okay with that. I think that's funny and not like harmful.
No, it's not funny because you're talking about this man who's done these horrible things to these people. So why would we call him Jeffrey Dahmer? Why are we even calling him in the first place?
So this is my thing, and I get you now. I get it because it's not funny to you, but to some people like dark humor, and to me, I don't like all dark humor. So I don't even see how people can make jokes about this situation. But unfortunately, some people do like this, and unfortunately, a lot of these jokes are coming from Black people.
Until it happens to them.
Exactly, until it comes back close to home. So. And then, like Kendall was saying, I think this is some people's way of coping. Not saying it's right, not saying it's the most healthy way of coping, but some people laugh to keep them crying, And to me, I don't agree with that because to me, I don't find anything funny about it. I can never even fix my list to make jokes about it. But I do understand.
It's an unhealthy way to cope. It's absolutely a coping mechanism.
It's that too. Yeah, it's definitely for likes, but then I also think because that's even a coping thing. Like, I'm going to post this for likes to make me feel better. So that's even their way of even coping with it because it might truly affect them, but they want to go make a joke about it on social media to get some laughs and everything. So I do agree with you, but like Kendall said, it's an unhealthy way of coping because it's dumb, laughing when it's nothing to really be laughing at. That's that's definitely what I think for sure, But and then even I want to give a take on that because I do agree with what Dawn was saying. I feel like what Hollywood did was a business decision. What these jokes people are making is a personal decision. So we got to learn how to understand that business is not about your feelings. It's about what's going to make my bank account bigger. Them making those personal jokes, that's them choosing to do that and everything. So I see what she was saying about that. Hollywood
and
don't
God
give a
sees
fuck.
All.
Exactly.
Even Facebook posts and tweets and all that.
It's a business choice, but it's still a personal choice too. Like whoever wrote this, they had a choice to like, do I want to put this out? I know this is going to affect these families, whether you get a check or not, but it was still a personal choice.
Definitely a personal
Whoever
choice.
decided to make this, and that was a personal choice.
It was personal choice.
Either way, I get where she's saying like the jokes is nasty, but just as well, like Naya said, the movie is out. People gonna have an opinion. So either way, like it's always going to be something said. So I understand both of what y'all saying, but I mean, either way, the movie is out, and that's the effects of the show. I'm sorry, the show.
And that's what it is. And that takes me back to what Dawn said. either way, the movie is out. It's out. You know, the family didn't know, and it's out. So, not saying that the family had to accept it, but they did it without the family's blessings anyway. So it's out. So what can like to me that was a business decision. It wasn't them thinking personally because they was thinking about the success, the people who would like this dark humor, the people that's going to make it #1 on Netflix. That's what I think. That's why I think it's a business decision. But again, you know, if you think it's personal, that's validated too because it could be a personal decision as well. You know. Now I want to get to this part right here because a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer he had made it over into pop culture, and people use him and reference what he did in their music lyrics. All right, so I got these 4 people right here. Well, exclude Jeffrey Dahmer, but these 3 people right here then use them in their lyrics. I want to read the lyrics out, and then I want to start with you because you are a poet and you write lyrics, and I want to know should people control your lyrics? All right, so the first one was with Katy Perry. The Katy Perry song was the Dark Horse song, and it didn't come out of Katy Perry's mouth. It came out of Juicy J's mouth, who was featured on the song. And this is what he said. I'm gonna give context. She's a beast. I call her karma. She eats your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer. Be careful. Try not to lead her on. Shorty's heart was on steroids because her love was so strong. I said that wrong, but y'all get the picture. Kesha lyrics. Hers say your little heart goes pitter patter. I want your liver on a platter. Use your finger to stir my tea, and for dessert, I'll suck your teeth. Be too sweet, and you'll be a goner. Yeah, I'll pull a Jeffrey Dahmer. And the last one is from Eminem. And what Eminem said was, and be calm or bring drama, a step beyond of Jeffrey Dahmer. Please don't upset me, mama, you're looking sexy. Mama don't know if it's the Lala or the rum or the Pepsi. Alrighty. So my question to you all is, and I'm gonna start with you, Kendall. With you being a poet, do you think people should tell you what you should write in your lyrics?
I mean, I think people are going to regardless. I think at the same time, though, it's it's really complicated because if you have like a really, really big platform, it's very clearly going to be different than if you're like someone small. Katy Perry and Juicy J, not exactly a small platform. But at the same time, the message that they're trying to communicate in the song, I think that referencing him is like it's something that's it's a line in line with the messaging that they want to put out there. Like if you mess around with this girl, she's gonna like eat your heart, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Like whatever. Like that's an artistic thing. That by itself, I don't think it's spitting in anybody's face. We make all kinds of like dirty, like nasty references to evil people all over music, all over like television and stuff. I think if you're not exploiting like particularly people, like you're not using somebody's likeness. Imagine if you were to say like, oh well, you're gonna feel like not even I'm Jeffrey Dahmer, but I'm gonna make you feel like one of his victims. Like that's kind of like, whoa, wait a minute. But just to reference like, hey, I'm going to do this thing that or I'm going to lean into this thing being serial killer territory because of how crazy I'm going to go over you. Something like that. Like it's hyperbole, it's metaphorical, it's artistic. I don't think it's something that's designed or intended to invoke like negative feelings in someone, like particularly, if that makes sense.
And is that for all 3 of the lyrics? All 3 of the ones?
So since I think we should have gone over them one by one, probably.
We definitely should have. Because I had got a little confused myself when I was going through it. So with the Katy Perry and Juicy J one, you kind of heard that one. That's the one where he kind of alluded to the fact that she would eat your heart out like Jeffrey Dahmer.
So I think it's fair to say people will criticize your lyrics, whatever you write, no matter what you write. So as long as you're doing something that you feel like fits with what you want to portray, the messaging that you want to put out there, sure, you have a responsibility to like keep it kosher and stay cool with it. But at the same time, people are going to do all kinds of hyperbolic stuff with their music that's like over the top. I think that's very different than creating a series where you're using someone's likeness to represent them.
All righty. Let me go over to you, Cortisha. What are your thoughts on people using the lyrics in the songs? Do you think it's any wrongdoing on their end, or do you think they're just expressing themselves?
I think it's fucking weird. Like what made you think about him and to put that in your lyrics?
The question is wrongdoing. Yes, I think there is wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Whether or not people can criticize it is different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it also make you think like I gotta really like pay attention to what I be singing or what I be rapping because you never know what the fuck you might be rapping. Because I didn't even know who he was until like now, like since all this stuff is coming out. But it's just to me, it's just kind of weird. Like I get his art or whatever, but for you to think about referencing him out of all people, out of all like everybody or anything, like that's weird. But I mean, it depends on the person listening to the song and how they take it. But I think it's weird, and I think you just gotta pay attention to what you're listening to.
And it's definitely true because I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna pass it over to you, Naya. Because I feel like it's like when Nicki Minaj said, like MJ Doctor, they killing me, you know, or when Lil Wayne said, beat that pussy like Emmett Till. That's very offensive. I was singing the hell out of that lyric. I didn't even know who Emmett Till was at the time, you know. And it's sad because I probably should have known it because that song came out. We was like in high school. I should have known who Emmett Till was, but I don't think I was consciously aware of who he was. I just knew that was in my head. That was a hot bar, you know.
I can't imagine rapping that and not cringing though. That's so
yeah. At the time, I didn't know who it was, so I could say it effortlessly. Now I probably won't say it so much because it's very disrespectful, you know. So I do think some things is crossing the line. But what do you think, Naya?
I agree with everybody. Well, kind of with Kendall, but I do agree more with Cortisha that how we should be aware about what we're feeding ourselves as far as in what we're watching and also what we're saying, because there's a lot of lyrics like the song "Weep in the Morning" and "Mashing the Teeth." I never knew about that. Like I weep in the morning, mashing the teeth, and that's actually a scripture about hell that people weep in the morning, mash their teeth. And you just say you don't know exactly what you're saying. Even songs has chants. They have all kinds of things that we're not aware of. And we're saying things all the time that we just don't know. And then until you look at the actual lyrics, because when you're saying it, it's just flowing. You're not paying attention. But when you actually get it broken down, like how you just broke it down to us, it was like, oh, shoot, they say that? Like, I never really paid attention to that. I mean, I heard it, I didn't really think about it. Like, I wasn't like, who Jeffrey? Like, you just keep going. You don't really think about who are the
every white kid rapping the N-word. Every white kid rapping the N-word is like, yes, this is me.
You just don't. Oh, you know. So I agree.
Oh, I can't say that.
What about you, Dawn?
I think if you're an artist and you put out your work, then you're putting it out to be criticized. You know, that's what you're doing. I think if you're gonna use a name, you know, like Jeffrey Dahmer or whatever, I would say use it in a way where it's though it's like, you know, fuck him. You know, not more so like I'm being like him by eating your heart out, like, you know what I mean, or anything whereas though it's supporting that person, because we remember the killer's name, but we don't remember the victim's name. What was one of the victims' name that he killed? What was his name?
I can name the man who killed him faster than that, but that's only because I have really, really bad draw from memory skills.
Okay. But you know, a lot of people wouldn't remember the victims. They just remember Jeffrey Dahmer. I just think it's bad taste. And like, you know, Naya just said that we should definitely be careful what we listen to and, you know, what we accept into our life, because listen to music really put their words, you know, into it plays in our life in a way, because we're repping it so hard, we're singing it and rapping it so hard, you know what I mean? So I'm definitely in that transition where I'm actually dissecting the artists I listen to and what they're saying and how they're saying it, you know, especially Nicki Minaj. Like, you know, she came at Rosa Parks a couple times, you know, and I get it, you know. But at the same time, it's just like, she did a lot. Like, she ain't have to go to jail. She could have just got up and went to the back. But I don't know. It's just,
Right.
Nah, definitely. I agree with everything. And I definitely do want to just alter my opinion a little bit. So I don't think that we should censor people. Because maybe my answer sounded like we should censor people. I don't think we should censor people because you have the freedom of speech, but you can't control how people react to it. So kind of alluding to what you said, Dawn, you put out stuff to be criticized, you know. So if people are going to criticize it, they're going to criticize it, and then you're going to have people that's going to love it. But I definitely don't think we should alter free speech. Now, there's an argument to say that sometimes some of this stuff could be hate speech, and we shouldn't confuse free speech with hate speech. But I do feel like, you know what, you say it. If there's backlash for it, then you need to deal with the repercussions of saying what you said. You know,
people confuse free speech. Free speech is not protection from private criticism. It's protection from government oppression. You can use, like, you could say whatever you want. People are going to cancel you for it if they want to, but the government won't be able to do that. That's what free speech is for. It is not so you can walk into McDonald's and call anybody like whatever you want. Like, and people mix that up a lot. If you're getting canceled, it's because you said some fuck shit. It's that simple.
That, or you just not going to with the agenda that they put.
Nah,
out
you
there
said
right
some
now.
fuck shit, bro. People don't get
Or
canceled for
you're,
saying
or
bullshit.
you're not going with the
Name
agenda
3
right
people who have
now.
been canceled for saying bullshit.
No, oh,
The baby.
the
I'm
baby.
What did the
sorry.
baby
Tory
say? What did the baby say? And I can back why he's been canceled. Or
The
not
baby.
even,
He said
canceling
he
is
fucked
like
on Megan Thee Stallion before Tory Lane shot her, or before she said Tory Lane shot her, right? And everybody was like, "Oh, you a fuck nigga, you canceled for that." Like, you know what I mean? Because at the same time, he really did shoot this lady, and you telling everybody, Naya, because he did shoot her.
You said
You
he
can't.
did?
He
You don't think he
did.
shot her?
He
did
did.
not.
I said he did
But
shoot her.
No, Naya said no.
You don't think? Oh, all right,
That's-
hold on. That's a debate for
Wait.
another
that's a whole
show.
episode. That's
That's
2
definitely a
episodes.
debate for a whole nother
But
show.
the
We ain't gonna
baby
get
is
into
one of
that.
them. Danny Lay for Red Phone is what he wants. Cancel. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Because
yeah.
we're trying to get rid of colorism here now. We're trying to stop all that. You
I
gonna come
remember
out with
that.
this song?
So
and
what
then
I'm
he
saying is
still
like,
plays
is the cancellation justified or not? Did they say something that should warrant backlash from the majority of people listening to what they put out? And I think most people who end up getting canceled usually do say something that deserves that or warrants it. Most people.
All right, so for instance, let me use this as an example. Lil Boosie. Let me just say
I
Lil
love
Boosie. Lil
him.
Boosie
I
always
fucking
comes
love him.
out.
I love him.
I thought that this is perfect. I can this is a perfect scenario. Then we go on in this. Lil Boosie comes out and says negative things about Lil Nas X all of the time. All of the time. But you just seeing the ladies on here, they love him. You feel me? They love what he's saying and everything. Now he's saying what a lot of people are thinking. Not Dawn. But let me finish this. He's saying what a lot of people are thinking, and a lot of people silently agree with what he's saying about Lil Nas X, about that
What's
he's
up?
going to turn that he's going to turn the kids gay or whatever, you know. So he gets canceled for his opinion, is what I'm saying. I don't agree with him.
This opinion, the reason you would get canceled for that is assuming that seeing gay people on television is going to make your kid gay.
He's gay.
Instead of allowing,
wait.
Instead of allowing them to understand that they are attracted to somebody that most people aren't usually attracted to. If your kid is watching, go ahead.
Let me add this. It was at an award show. He don't think they should be kissing at an award show. That's a family event. Now you could go.
Do they think that, again, this falls back to what I said earlier. Are they carrying a double standard, or do they think nobody should be kissing at an award show? So if Lil Nas X kisses his partner at an award show, is this a problem to you because it's 2 men kissing, or is it a problem because it's 2 adults kissing? That's the question. If he's targeting Lil Nas X for this, I promise you his problem is not with 2 adults kissing. I promise.
It's deeper. It's deeper because
it's instantly deeper.
He only attacked Lil Nas
because he
X.
let his teenage son have sex with a stripper.
Yeah, that's something also to be criticized. That's absolutely something to be criticized.
I believe so. He did come out with a video basically playing Lil Nas X in his house, on live. He was like, I don't have no problem with Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X is not turning your kids gay. It's that simple.
Right.
He's not.
Yeah, so that was the example that is more so of,
and it's a fiery hot example of homophobia.
What? I agree with you, but we just saw the ladies Naya and Cortisha love him, But now this is my thing.
Yeah, but they probably feel a certain way about it.
I love him. I'm not saying I agree with what he's saying.
I get you. But my thing is, and no, I just want to put a bow on it real quick. It would make more sense if you criticize everybody. If you criticize Saucy, if you did Lil Nas X, if you did, the reason why I'm saying that because then it won't feel like you're just targeting one person. Then that means that you have a problem with it across the board. You don't criticize nobody else but Lil Nas X. So to me,
so he's being homophobic.
Think it's a little bit deeper.
Now he also be talking about Dwayne Wade. We talked about her last night. He also have a lot of opinions about that too. Zaya.
But I feel like if he got a problem with Lil Nas X and Zaya, then he damn sure should have a problem with Saucy Santana. Because he's doing what they're doing times 3. Not saying that
he's saying Saucy Santana says a lot of things, but you don't I didn't see him all kissing on a guy and stuff like
that. Saucy do a lot of
he just says it.
He does a lot of things. All right, let me end this show because this should be an after thing show. All right, so I know because we got what I'm talking about. Let me end it with closing arguments and then boom. So as the culture is turning, how should we deal with trauma films? How should we deal with films that's being put out there that cause us more trauma? Whether it's movies like When They See Us, or is this movie, or slave movies. Like, as the culture is turning, how should we approach watching these movies? Let me start with you, Dawn.
I think we shouldn't watch movies that will trigger us. I think we should basically read a description of a movie before we actually view the trailer. Censor our social media. I think a lot of people should start doing that. And create your own content. Create what make sure you know what's on your timeline, what you're watching, what your kids are watching. You're in control of what you see and what you hear. You know what I mean? You don't have to put yourself in a situation where you have to criticize something like, oh, that's bad. Just don't fucking watch it.
Heard that. Naya, same for you. As the culture is turning, how should we move forward with these type of movies?
Um, we as here or just as a whole in the world, because
The
if that's
world.
okay, I think that they should start doing. We were just learning about this in social work content, where they should go to families and actually reach out to them and say, if this is okay, can we make a movie? How would you feel? Or reaching out to people to make sure it's okay. You know what I mean? Involving families and see if they're okay with that. Also, I believe that yes, there should be a disclaimer, and also that maybe people should watch, trailers and different things as well. And just certain stuff you just should just leave. You know how sometimes they say some stuff doesn't have to be touched. Some stuff that this could have just been not made. This movie, I mean, this TV show, it could have just not been anything. A series. You know what I'm saying? I think left alone.
All right, Cortisha.
I just think that either whether they cut them a check or not, they should have some say so in how they're portrayed in the documentary or the show or whatever. That's very important, because whether or not they got to relive that, and it don't matter how many years ago it was, they have to relive that. And some shit like you got to relive be hard to like rethink, go through everything in your mind. That shit is hard.
All righty, and last but not least, Kendall.
So I think if you're the family of people who have been through something that has like hit news and it's been like a massive story, when you open up your Netflix account, you shouldn't see a massive reminder of that trauma as the first thing that you look at, especially if you weren't involved in its creation and if you weren't even offered like any portion of the massive amounts of money that it's going to make. I think even if we say like, oh, well, it's just business, I think business of all should be like slavery was a business. These things should have a responsibility to be ethically operated. We should still push to include people in a way that doesn't leave them feeling like, hey, like you put me in this movie. That's literally me. Those are my words. This is my court case. And I'm not getting anything from that at all. You're not going to cut me in on any of that.
Boo-hoo.
So yeah, I think it should. Hey, this is my closing argument.
I'm sorry.
Man. But in closing, like, yeah, I think they should be able to sue. I think this would be resolved by Netflix coming through and saying, look, for any cases like this, especially if you can reach the family and it's not that difficult, if you can reach them, you do have a responsibility to involve them in the process of something like this. I absolutely think that moving forward, we see all kinds of like situations like this where people are left out, but we should see more situations where they're included, because then not only do you get a more accurate story, you get to avoid the backlash of leaving people out of stories that are about them, right? So yeah, that's what I think moving forward. We should just be cool with including people in things that have their names effectively on it.
Heard that. And to close this all out, I think y'all said y'all closing arguments perfectly. For me, and it's kind of what y'all said, just learn a little bit more empathy. You may not be going through it, but try to put yourself in their shoes and see how it would make you feel. Because again, I feel like empathy is something that you should be able to express, because we all don't go through the same stuff. We're all not a monolith. But if I can put myself in your shoes, then maybe I can approach it differently, So let's try to do that. And, just understand that when people do things, it's not always personally. Sometimes it's because they have to, or they don't have no other choice because they're being forced or pressured to do things because of the revenue it'll make and everything. So I just think that we all got to do things to make sure that our mental health is right and make sure that we're consuming things that's going to make us better and prosper, So thank all of you. Thank all of y'all crazy asses for being with me tonight. I love everybody's point of view. I can't wait for this to go up. Thank y'all so much. I want to make sure that everybody who viewed this video, make sure that you subscribe to As the Culture Turns on YouTube at As the Culture Turns. You can follow As the Culture Turns on Instagram at As the Culture Turns, and you can like us on Facebook. And if you want to follow this moderator, this boy right here, sexy in the middle. You know, it's JERMIR, 3 underscores at the bottom.
Proclaimed.
Don't want to drop your social media.
Underscore forever Dawn underscore on Instagram.
Naya.
Naya underscore Rose.
What about your business, Naya? Like, what we doing? Like, we promoting that?
I have a lingerie business and I also have a clothing line coming out.
Nice.
There we go. Say it again.
Beso Boutique. BES_boutique 1.
All right, and Kendall, you as well, and everything you doing too.
Oh, y'all can follow me on Instagram at Afromortis. That's AFROMORTIS. I post poetry, memes, protest stuff. I'm trying to get better about my social media management, but no promises.
And last but not least, Cortisha.
My Instagram is C_Shank with 2 Ks. No, I'm not a killer.
Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm sorry. All right, y'all. Thank you.
Cortisha Dahmer does not have a good ring to it.
Oh no.